Hello, 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 hello. I am so excited to be here today. My energy was earlier today, but I'm feeling really good. I gave myself some space around lunchtime. I laid out in the sun, and now I'm feeling fabulous and revived and very excited to chat with you today. So, when it comes to creating the life and business that we desire, there are things that get in our way. We have these excuses, we have these limiting beliefs, we have stories that we tell ourselves, and a lot of them are valid, right? Let's just be honest. We're really probably not going to argue with somebody when they say, I just don't have X, Y, and Z, right? Generally, we're going to let them have that story, right? I, on the other hand, I just want them to question whether that's true, right? So this is what I love to do. I love to be able to ask really empowering questions. I love to ask why people believe the things that they believe. Now, there is no reason that they have to logically tell me why they believe that. I just want them to realize what it is that they actually believe, right? So, if for instance, somebody says, well, I don't have the money and I don't have the time to make more money, I'll question that. And I'll say, okay, is it that you don't actually have the time? Or are you not really sure what would make you more money? Because those are two very different questions. But when it comes to creating the life and business that you desire, whatever it is, whatever that looks like, one, you really have to know what that looks like first. But two, you have to get out of your head. And what do I mean by this? I mean, a lot of us say, okay, here is the life that we want. Here is the business that we want to build. And then we go ahead and we try to figure it all out. We try to have the perfect game plan where we have it mapped out to a T, because if we have it mapped out, then that is for sure going to work, and that's the plan that we're going to follow. But very rarely does it actually go according to that plan. This is absolutely what I've found to be true. And so what I love to do when I am working towards something, whatever it is, right? If I have a vision, a goal for something, I will say, okay, here's one way I can get there. Because I know that I've created success doing something similar like this before, so this way could work. But I don't limit myself to just that way. I allow other ways to come through. Maybe something better, maybe something bigger. Maybe, if I make a income goal for the month, I'm like, okay, here's the income goal. Here's what I know is guaranteed income, right? Predictable. Here is what is possible. And here's my potential goal, right? So I do 3 different varying goals, and I will say, okay, well, I know that predictably this is the income that will come in this month. Cool. Now, there's the possibility that I could make this much money, but I don't know how that's going to come through. So let me just be open to how it's going to come through. And then the third column there, the potentiality, right? Potentially I could make X amount of dollars this month, and I have no idea how that will come in. So I'm just gonna leave that to happenstance, right? I'm gonna just say that that's a really cool goal. I'm not going to be set on how it comes to me. Because that's the thing, right? When we get really excited about a goal, a vision that we have, we get set on it working in just one way. This is the plan, this is how we think it's gonna work, this is how we want it to work, and this is the only way it's going to come to us. And then what we actually do is we close ourselves off to it happening in any other of those ways. And there is an infinite amount of possibilities in which that thing can come to you. Whatever it is, right? An infinite amount. But when we get our mind set on this one thing, we close down any of those other possibilities becoming a chance, and we put so much pressure on this one thing that oftentimes we actually push it away from us. So what do I mean here by saying you've got to get out of your head? Well, this morning, I'm going to give you a prime example. This morning, it's a rest day. So this past week, I started a 60-day weight training program. And today was rest day, which thank God, because my legs were on fire yesterday. And so rest day today, but I didn't really want to rest. Like, I wanted to move my body because I could feel some kind of wobbles in my energy field and some gunk in the way. And so I was like, all right, well, I'll do yoga. That'll be great, right? So I'm in the middle of my yoga practice, maybe a couple minutes into it, and I'm struggling to get out of my head and actually connect to the yoga. And I was thinking about the dream I was having last night, and I was thinking about what I needed to do today, and it was just spinning. And I was struggling to focus and bring myself in my breath, right? So I let my intuition lead, and I said, okay, what should I be doing? What do I need to do to like come back? What happened was I was led to do some dancing. I don't typically dance during yoga. I will do my yoga, but I do regularly have dance parties throughout the week to move energy, to move some stagnant stuff. And so I was led to do some dancing this morning. And my mind was like, this is foolish. This is ridiculous. What on earth are you doing? And I followed it, and I let the dancing go, and I did all the things, right? Very much my mind was full critic at that point, being like, you look ridiculous. Do you know that? Do you know how silly you look right now? Nobody's watching me. I was doing it by myself in my bedroom in the dark, right? You couldn't see anything anyways. But it was so relaxing, and it was so grounding and so centering that I was able to actually start to get some clarity instead of a whole bunch of these thoughts coming through and really having no idea what I was doing during the day, but knowing that thought process was actually kicking me into overwhelm. And so when I talk about getting out of your head, that is how I respond to my clients when they are feeling stuck. Right? So oftentimes they're trying to figure out the exact way that something's going to happen, or figure out how to respond to a situation in the exact way, that they're not actually trusting themselves. They're spending so much time in their head trying to make sure that all their I's are dotted and their T's are crossed, that they're actually protecting themselves from the thing that they actually want to create. This is what I mean by saying that you're stuck with it happening in one particular way and not open to the infinite amount of possibilities. So how do you get out of your head back into your intuition, back into your heart, back into your body? Now, this happens a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. Mine is not the one answer to all of it, but for me, there are some things that I like to do. One, yoga, dancing for sure. If I'm really struggling to get out of my head, I will do a full-on dance party where I will put on my noise-canceling headphones as loud as they will go with whatever song, and I will dance either in my room, in the backyard, whatever. There's nobody watching me. I don't care, right? But I will have a dance party because that helps to move kind of the stagnant energy and get my breath back, right? Breathing will definitely help as well. Being outside in nature, barefoot, will really, really help because that's actually very grounding for you, and really paying attention to how something feels. So this is where those mindful practices come in. It's interesting that we call it mindfulness because the goal of it is to actually bring you back into your body and out of your mind, and not like into your mind to think about it. And so mindful practices, those are really, really helpful. But sometimes it also helps to just kind of journal through, like, what are the thoughts coming up? Why are those thoughts coming up? What are they coming up for, right? And just really be able to talk to yourself through that. So all of this to say, this is going to be a shorter video today. When it comes to creating the life and business that you desire, there is going to be an inner critic that may sound like a family member telling you all of the ways that what you want will not work. All of the ways. Here's the beauty of this. You only need one way in which it could work in order to make that shift. Just one way. One way in which it could work to reignite that hope, to be excited about the thing that you're creating. It's only a little bit more that you need than all of the ways it won't work, right? One of my mentors, I remember listening to her on a podcast interview one time, and it was just, I love this podcast interview. I listen to it over and over and over again, even though it's like 10 years old. And she was talking about these what if questions that we ask ourselves. And a lot of the times our what if questions are, what if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I suck? What if this is terrible? What if it flops? What if nobody buys? What if, right? And we can run ourselves ragged with these negative what if questions. And she said something. She said, what if it did work? What if it did work? Can your energy change around that idea that it could work? What if it could work, right? And it isn't even a massive change. It's not a major breakthrough. It's not this massive mind shift where, it takes months to uncover it. It is a simple change of a word. Not what if it doesn't work? What if it does work? And then all of a sudden, your heart starts to beat a little bit faster and you get a little bit more excited and you're like, what if it does work? What if it does work? How awesome would that be? And then all of a sudden, you're back in your body and your mind, believe it or not, is coming up with all of the ways that it could work. So, ask yourself the questions that are going to move you closer, not the ones that are going to make you feel like a failure. So, I'm sending you lots of love today. I have a little sniffle thing going on. I'm not really sure what's happening. Probably the crazy drastic changes of the weather, but I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I am headed off to a couple of soccer games, and it's going to be a beautiful weekend. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And as always, be big, be bold, and be opulent. Bye, loves.